You might have seen this video about the doomsday clock that has been set to 89 seconds to midnight, but what is the doomsday clock and what does it mean? This is the doomsday clock as of 2025, where it's been set 89 seconds to midnight. But this clock was actually created back in 1947, and it was in response to the fact that we had nuclear weapons being developed. And the idea of this clock is that the time is ticking towards when the world self-destructs. And it self-destructs in the meaning that we create such bad conditions because of war, conflict, climate change, whatever it might be, that we are like a ticking time bomb going towards midnight where we will self-destruct as a planet. And over time, it has actually changed in terms of the amount of time to midnight. And I'll show you some examples of these. So we are up here just now at 89 seconds, but you can actually see that it has moved over time. This is normally placed by scientists who are constantly looking at globally different situations that are happening and working out how at risk we are as a humanity, as a planet, to the threats that we have all around the world. So the furthest away to midnight, which is when this imaginary clock goes off, has been 17 minutes. And we are currently at the closest we have ever been, which is 89 seconds. And these are some of the reasons that the clock has moved. So you'll see the very top left one that was the beginning of it, which was in 1947. And this was where the clock appeared for the very first time. And this was in response to a lot of nuclear threats. The idea that we had just created some really awful conditions around the world because of nuclear weapons. And it was set to 7 minutes to midnight. We then had the Soviet Union do the first nuclear tests, which in response, scientists came and said that we are now closer to this midnight point where the world will explode, self-destruct. And I don't mean actually will explode. This is not like a real thing that's going to blow up the planet. I just mean this idea that we are at threat because of all of the things that humanity is doing. So you can see other reasons why the clock has moved closer to midnight or further away. So in the 1950s, the US tested a hydrogen bomb that brought it closer to midnight at 2 minutes. But then actually in 1991, we went back, so it was put back to 17 minutes to midnight, and that was because the Cold War ended. We have other things like India and Pakistan doing nuclear tests, North Korea doing nuclear tests that slowly brought this forward. 2015 is where we had the first edition of climate change. That brought it forward to 3 minutes. In 2023, we had the Ukraine war and more climate change and other concerns that brought it to 90 seconds.